Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming in tonight. Have a cool show tonight for you guys. Thank you for coming in this evening. We got 5 people in here right now. We got Kevin Hawthorne. We got Charlie from Ugly Dogs. We have my mom. We have my dad. And that's all we have in here right now. So we're gonna just hold on a little bit and wait for some people to start coming in. There's Ace's mom. There's my sister. There's Grant McIntosh. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. We got Broadhead Outdoors. What's up, Wyatt? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, we got a pretty cool show tonight. As you can see from the thumbnail, I want to talk about 3 different topics. It's going to be the scent control topic that everybody is so skeptical about, and then we have the October lull that I'd like to talk about. Good evening, David. Thank you for coming in. Hunting and stuff. Thank you for coming in also. Appreciate you guys. So the 3 things are the scent control issue and topic that I'd like to bring up and talk about tonight with you guys. The rut in PA and Ohio. I'd like to talk about that. And also I'd like to talk about the October lull. Not necessarily in that order, but I do want to bring them up. We'll probably do scent control first, then we'll do the October lull, and then we'll talk about the rut because that's just the order that I think it should be in. Amanda, hey Amanda, how are you tonight? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you on this Saturday night. Okay, Chad, how you doing? Thank you. Jason, another hour yet? Okay, well, thank you for coming in, Jason. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't heard, we're doing talk about 3 different topics: scent control, the October lull, and the rut in PA and Ohio. Crossover, thank you for coming in. Appreciate you guys. We're going to let it roll for a little bit here. I hope everybody's weekend is going good. Today, I was supposed to take my son hunting, but he has to work the haunted house at the church, and he chose to do that, and that's okay. He wanted to be with his friends, and he likes to work, so I can't, get angry at that. Hey, John, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Good buddy got a nice doe today. That's very cool. Got it with a compound. That's awesome. But yeah, Theo had to work the hayride haunted house tonight, and he wanted to do that. Tonight was a really nice night. It was a little bit windy out, but I think we would have probably seen some deer this evening, but it didn't happen. I tried to get out this morning, and I woke up at 5:30 and walked out the front door and checked the weather, and it was pouring down rain. So I was just going to go try to film my doe tag and do some filming to finish one of my videos, and I did not get the chance to do that because of the weather. So I slept in. Hey, Ozark Bound, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. And so that's what we have right now. But next weekend, I know Theo's going to want to work. It's just the last 2 weekends. So we'll see if I'm going to head down to Ohio or not next weekend, or if I'm going to take Theo down to my camp to try to get a buck. If not, we'll just take him down for rifle season, and he'll have to get one with a gun. What else did I want to? Oh, tomorrow I'm going to be doing a rocket run, is what I call it. Me and my buddy Bob, my best friend Bob, we're going down to Ohio. We're going to be pulling our camera cards. Yeah, it's 85 and beautiful here. Yeah, it was. Well, I like the cool weather, so I'm okay with the cool weather. I just didn't like the rain and the wind. But it's hunting season in PA, so I'm excited about that. But so tomorrow we're going to make a rocket run down there. We're going to go check our stands. I'm going to refreshen my scrapes. We're going to pour our camera cards and get all that stuff done tomorrow. Because it's coming up. I'll be heading to Ohio the weekend of the 6th, and I will be staying there till the weekend of the 12th or 14th or something like that. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I can't wait for that. I'm anxious to see what's on our trail cameras. We have a couple of them on there right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share the link. If anybody wants to come up, they can, and we can talk about some things here. If you want to talk, just come up and hang out. We're going to do that. I'm going to just share the link here for you guys. But yeah, so a couple of things I'd like to say first is, and as always, I'd like to thank all the people that I am affiliated with, and one of them is WinScent. I'm on their field staff team. I'm on the Shield now, and that is a new one. I just got on the Shield field staff this week. So thank you to Philip on that one. I spoke with Philip this week, and he invited me to become a field staff member for Shield. So I am on that, which I'm really excited about. I actually have the products here to show you guys and talk about tonight. Yuletech, Team Yuletech, like to thank you guys. Domain Outdoors, that's a seed company for food plots and things that I use. So I'd like to thank those companies. So if you get a chance, please go check them out. I will see if I can't share a few of their, here's a Shield. Their website is right there. I'd like to thank Rubline Sense also. I'm on their pro staff team. There's a Shield. There's Team Yuletech right there. And let's see, what am I looking at here? I got to move that actually. Rubline Sense is right there. That's their YouTube channel. And let me see, where am I at here? I got all kinds of Rubline Sense. Well, you know what I'm talking about. Rubline Sense. You can get on there. Oh, there it is right there. There's their website right there. There's their website right there, guys. So go check out those companies. I'd also like to thank my sponsors for this month, and that's JJ Drones. That is Dan, the droning veteran, and also Carl from Chillin' in Indiana. Carl, I appreciate you guys donating to the channel for the month. If anybody's interested in donating to the channel for a sponsor package, there's 3 different ones. There's a $5 one, $10 one, and a $25 one. $5 one runs for about 2 weeks. The $10 one runs for about 3. The $25 one runs for a full month, and you will get mentioned in all my videos and shared out, and anything that you guys upload, I will share out also. And the people that get the $10 package will get a pack of my baits free, and the people that get the $25 package get 2 packs of my baits free, shipping included. So if you want to check that out, you can go to my email. You can email me if you're interested. I can let you know, how that works. But there's my email address right there, but there's no commitment to it. It's not like a membership where you get money taken out every month. It's at your will. If you want to get something, you can, donate that money to the channel. It goes right back into the channel. It goes to the baits and products and stuff like that we use here on Off the Hook Outdoors, and also it goes to upgrade the channel. So appreciate all you that have donated. If you're interested in that, that's fine. If you don't want a membership and you just like to donate any kind of money, I really appreciate that. I have a Venmo, and I also have a PayPal. So if anybody's interested in that, you can go ahead and do that. And that's about all the things that I wanted to say before we get the show on the road here. So let's talk about scent control. So if anybody would like to come up and talk scent control, then come on up. And let's see the chat here. Okay, we got Daniel Berry. Thank you for coming in. PA Trapping, what's up, guys? Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. So for 20 bucks, you guys say our name and call me the king of the people every time I may need in on this. Yes, that's what I would do, John. And I would share all your videos out, and you would be featured at the beginning of my videos. So all that good stuff. All that notoriety you get from my channel, John. So just remember that. I think it's worth every penny. So, but yeah, so let's talk about scent control. So what do you guys, anybody in here that's a hunter, or anybody that has hunted before, what is your take on the scent control? I am a big believer of scent control in the deer woods. I actually learned a lot of information this past 2 weeks here. So I want to talk to you guys about don't stink rule 1, don't stink rule 1. So I just wanted to get your opinions on what you think about scent control, and if you think it's overrated. And like I said, you guys should know, or at least if you watch any of my videos, you guys know that I'm big on the scent control. So, and what I've learned this past week has changed my mind big time on scent control also. So I'm going to let you in on a secret about that, what I found out this week. So don't stink is rule 1. Yes, that's a very good rule to have, John. Definitely. So PA, you're out there hunting. I know that. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Hey, Steve. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. We're talking about some scent control, talking about the rut in PA and Ohio, and we're going to be talking about the October, the October lull. Also, more important, bow hunting versus gun hunting. Yeah, you think that the scent matters more in bow hunting than it does in gun hunting, Grant? I know you got to get closer to the deer when you're bow hunting, so I would agree with that. But I still take the same steps when I gun hunt as opposed to bow hunting. Even though you got a gun in your hand with the oil and grease and all that good stuff on the gun, but I still take the same amount of steps that I do in bow hunting that I do for gun hunting. So I don't know if everybody does that. That's a good question. Does anybody that bow hunts, do they take the same steps if they're gun hunting? Just so you know, I killed one with a muzzleloader smoking a cigarette years ago. Yep, that's the same story. Everybody knows somebody or has done that for sure. Muzzleloader, yeah. There we go, right here. And I don't disagree with that. You were at the right place at the right time. But majority, I've never worried bad about scent. Just hunt the wind. I have been successful now, and bow and rifle. Okay. There he is, Steve from the back. What's up, Steve? So Steve is in the background here, so I am going to get him up on stage with you guys, and maybe we'll do a little hunting talk with Off the Hook Outdoors. So let's welcome Steve. What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good.
Good.
On this channel, I'm the Ozark Bound. I forgot to change my name. Sorry about that.
I know who you. I don't know if anybody else, if anybody
I'll
in here knows
change it.
that.
I can change it later. But
No
yeah,
problem.
well, here's the thing: scent control too. Now, if you're hunting private land like I am, I
Mm-hmm.
own 10 acres. I
Okay.
own 3 ladder stands,
Mm-hmm.
and they all face the same direction.
Hey, dear corner.
So when the wind is blowing, my face, let's put it this way, my face, if I'm sitting in my stands, I'm
Yes.
facing a southeast every time,
Okay.
So when it's windy, I got to play the wind a lot,
Mm-hmm.
because they
You
usually
got the
come,
crosswinds. You got the
yes,
crosswinds hitting you from
yes,
the west, from the
they
majority of
don't,
the west.
right, from the northwest, the deer don't really come from that way much anymore.
Uh-huh.
I got a big, like I'm sitting right now. Out in front of me would be a huge woods that's
Okay.
connected to my 10 acres.
Gotcha.
To the north, I have a big field, which is the neighbor's land,
Mm-hmm.
and then I got neighbor's land to the right of me too.
Okay.
So most of the deer come from that big lot of woods.
Gotcha. Do they hunt that land? Your neighbors? Is there hunters on each
Rifle,
side of you?
Ri-
Okay, rifle.
um, only usually rifle. I just started crossbow hunting to everybody, just so you know. I
Good for
did
you.
try, yeah, I tried bow hunting in the past.
Mm-hmm.
When I was younger, I never did get a deer. I was an amateur, and I really, I mean, I tried to learn back then, but I just wanted to get in the woods and hunt, so I didn't really listen much. You know what I mean?
Yes. I got you.
I went, and if I got one, I got one.
Yeah. Well, that's a
you
good
know,
attitude to have,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. So,
yeah.
but yeah,
So
like this, so what do you, hey, Jim Springer, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. So what do you believe in scent control or do you not believe in scent control?
I I'm a budget hunter too.
Okay. Okay.
So I use the scent spray.
Okay.
I do spray myself down with that.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to hunting, I wear
Yes.
normal. I wear normal clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't. Sometimes I air them out. Sometimes I haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I what I want to do is actually get a tote and fill that up with a whole bunch of leaves
Mm-hmm. You can do that.
and put my clothing in that. That's the
Yeah.
way I was gonna do it. Probably
Yeah.
like the old ways they used to do it, put it in a garbage bag.
Yeah, that's what we used to do. We used to go get, if we were hunting in the pines, we would go get pine needles and stuff and put it in the bag, or we'd go
Yes,
get like acorns or oak leaves and dump it in the bag.
yes,
But nowadays, they have all those scent wafers that are out there. They got different scents: acorn, pine, corn, fresh earth. So it
yeah,
wouldn't be a bad thing to go grab yourself some, depending on where you're hunting.
right,
I wouldn't use acorn scent if you're in the pines, and vice versa.
right,
I wouldn't use
right.
pine if you're in the acorns. But a basic all around good scent is the fresh earth scent, a cover scent. I would
Yep,
get a fresh earth wafer, throw that in the bag or the tote with your clothes, and close it up.
yes,
And I even do that with my truck. I hang a
yeah,
fresh scent earther in my
yeah,
truck.
yeah.
So when
I'll
I'm
spray my truck down too if I'm gonna go
mhm,
to a new spot. If I'm gonna
yeah,
drive
for
the
sure,
public land.
for
But
sure.
part two to your question is yes, I do believe in scent control. Um, I'm going to be getting probably scent lock or some type of clothing eventually. I really do
Hmm.
believe in it.
Yep.
When I lived in Wisconsin, now for rifle hunting, we used to walk through the barns before we
Uh-huh.
went out to the out to our stands and stuff.
Yeah. Yep.
If we on
I've heard of that.
farmland.
People. Yep. I've heard of people stepping in like cow manure and things on their boots so they can go into the woods and it covers your
Yep,
scent up or getting
yep,
that scent on you.
yep,
Yeah. If I heard of that, and I've also heard of people smoking their clothes.
yeah.
I have a buddy that actually smokes his clothes in an old school locker, and he has one of
Cool.
those bee smokers, and he puts the wood
Yeah,
chips and the leaves in there, and he smokes
really.
his clothes in that. Hey, boring fisherman, what's up, Ken?
Dang,
Thank you for coming
dang.
in. So
And
yeah,
you
I
and,
think
and you hear stories. When you said smoke,
yeah,
people smoke in their stands.
yeah, yep.
You know,
I believe if you got the wind, if you got a good wind, you can get
yeah,
away with a lot more than you think with the wind.
yeah,
But
yeah,
if you get a wind change or a swirl wind, it's over. Because
yeah, yeah. I
I'm a
wouldn't
bit
do it, but
Yeah, I'm a big believer of you're never going to be 100% scent free. I don't care what products are on the
right,
market, what you're using. You're never going to be 100%. There's always that molecule or something, or you brush up against something when you're walking
yeah,
in or something like that. But you can
yeah,
take the steps to minimize that, because I'm going to get to a
exactly.
point. I'm going to get to a point here that I wanted to talk to the people about, and
Yeah,
see what they get. But
yeah,
like I'm a big believer in the scent control. Okay. I learned a lot of stuff, and I'm using the Elima Shield now. I used all those products. When you walk into the stores, they have these big orange and big signs that say, 2 bottles for $9 on sale this week and stuff like that. And I've used all the scents, and I don't want to name any scent elimination companies, but you
yeah,
guys know who I'm
yeah,
talking about. The people that advertise a lot, just people, it's in their heads that that's what they should get. You know what I mean?
yeah, right.
And this Elima Shield that I have now, that I just got on their pro staff or field staff this week, I'm a real big believer in that, because they are on a hospital level with the bacteria and stuff. And I learned a lot of stuff about saying the way they carry their product and what they're allowed to say and what they're not allowed to say and things like that. But there's a lot of scent products out there that just cover your scent for a little bit and don't really work all day in preventing your bacteria from growing. So you want something that eliminates the bacteria that causes the odor.
Yeah,
And if you can do that, you're ahead of the game. Now you can cover it up.
exactly.
You can cover up all you want, your scent, and that's a good thing. But if you look on TV, there's a lot of people that carry their spray bottles into the woods with them, and they're applying it every couple hours, because the products out there now in that are bottled and everything, they're like 95% mineral water, and they only have a little bit of chemical or anything in there, like an enzyme base.
Yeah,
And the enzyme based products can only work for so long, and then they break down because it's an
sure.
enzyme.
That
Okay.
makes
Plant
sense.
plant based products and things like that, it breaks down. So yeah, he hand me down outdoors. What's up? But yeah, So that breaks down. So what you want to do is you want to eliminate the odor causing bacteria to be, pretty scent free if you can. Hey, Anyfin, thank you for coming in. Appreciate that. And so this ElimiShield does that. It actually eliminates the bacteria, and you can use it as a field foam. And this is the ElimiShield right here.
That's what I was wondering. So you spray that on your clothes?
No, this is actual foam. This is almost like shaving cream, and you spray it in your hand. You put it in your hair. You put it under your armpits. You put it behind your legs, on your feet, anywhere where you are going to sweat. You can use this.
Wow.
And it's field ready. You can take it with you. It's small enough to put in your pack.
Yeah.
I always put it. And this is a brand new product for me. So I'm starting to use this now, for Ohio, I'm going to be having this in. But Bryson Industries makes this. And Bryson, when COVID was a big thing in all the hospitals and everything like that, Bryson, and what's in here is what was in that COVID to get rid of the COVID and to, keep you clean is what I want to say with this stuff. And this is the company that was in 90% of the hospitals all over the place. And they have a system where they have to, it's cost thousands and thousands of dollars for them to have this certified by the EPA and everything like that to be in the hospitals. Now, ElimiShield used to have that EPA and everything with their hunting products, but it cost so much money, and they weren't getting back what they were putting into it with the hunting industry, because obviously the hospital industry is you can make a lot more money in that. So you had to keep that seal sort of on your product in the hospital, but you didn't have to so much in the hunting industry because nobody reads labels anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they come up with that, and they also have, and what I have is actually the whole kit. I have the laundry detergent here from them. It's a kit. It's about $45. I have the hair and body wash. That's also in the kit. And then I also have the field spray. And that is the field spray right there. Now, what's really cool about this ElimiShield company, and like I said, they're like a hospital base. They're really into their chemicals and whatever they're using to do this and kill the bacteria. But you got to watch saying kill in this industry. You got to watch saying that, because some people, there's a cover scent and there's a kill scent, and you'll see some of the companies say it's been tested here and here, but you can never ever get those tests to find out for yourself. And they're eliminating replicated odors and things like that. And when do you walk in the woods with replicated human odor? You don't. You walk in with human odor. So you want something that gets rid of your odor, not replicated. So
natural.
That's where I was taught, and I guess I got educated on the scent elimination products, which I wasn't really educated as much as I thought until this past 2 weeks. And that's not me saying go out and buy this. This is the best thing. I mean, if you want to just look into it yourself and try it, ElimiShield has a pretty cool warranty also that I wanted to say. And it is, if you buy a bottle of the core body foam and you use it and you are unhappy with it, and they say put it under your armpits, don't use any deodorant. And I stopped using regular deodorant like a month before the season, and I started using scent-free products and scent-free deodorant and stuff like that. Well, I noticed that I was just covering up my scent. I wasn't actually eliminating until I seen these products. Well, what their warranty is, if you go and you use this and you're unhappy, that they will give you your money back and buy you 2 products of your choice if you're unhappy with their product. And that's a really cool warranty to have. You know what I mean? So that's pretty big in the industry to be able to do that. And you really have to trust your product to do something like that. So I think it's really cool that they have that. But there is another product out there, and I don't have it yet, but it's called Extend Hunt. It's X and then 10 and then a D. Extend Hunt from ElimiShield. And what that has is it's a powder. And what you do is it's 10. So you go 10, 10, 10. What you do is you get 10 gallons of water, and basically you have a 10-ounce bottle of this stuff. So it's basically 1 ounce per gallon. But if you have 10 pounds of clothes, so you have 10 gallons of water, 10 ounces of powder, and 10 pounds of clothes, and you soak it for 10 minutes. So what you do is you get yourself a container. You pour water in it, hot water, but it's not to exceed 150 degrees. You put this powder in there, you slosh it around, and then you put your undergarments, your base layers, and anything like underwear, gloves, head nets, socks, anything that you're wearing underneath your clothing, you put it in here and you soak it for 10 minutes. And then after it's soaked for a while, you pull it out, you wring it out, and you line dry it. Now, they say line dry is the best, but you can line dry it for a while. And if you want to finish it off, you can put it in the dryer for a little bit, but it's not recommended.
Yeah.
And what that does is there's a chemical in there that bonds to all the fibers and stuff on the clothes, and it stays on there for 50 washes. So, and that is what eliminates your bacteria and everything. So they told me to get that. So I'm going to try that this year. And that's sort of like your base layers is what you want next to your skin that eliminates your odor. So it really doesn't matter to your outer clothing what you have if you're wearing, you know, a fresh air scent or something like that. So that's really cool. So I'm going to try that. And that sort of makes it like a, you know, your base layers, you're covered underneath where you're not creating more scent. And they got into it with me on a molecular level also, what they were showing me the molecules and what it looks like. And whenever you have scent in the molecule, what that looks like. And when you put this stuff on, it eliminates that molecule, that scent molecule, and then it's positively charged to a negative charge. So positive, obviously it attracts the negative, so it brings all the scent to that molecule. And then once you rinse it in your laundry clothes, that treatment stays on your clothes for 50 washes. So you'll have that all season for one application, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And so that is really cool, I think. So I'm going to try that out. And I just bought the Sitka gear this year. So I have all the Sitka gear. Now that has some scent controlled clothing in that also, but it's not a scent lock or scent blocker or anything like that. And, you know, with the carbon, obviously the carbon with these suits and things like that people are saying, you know, that they use and everything like that. Like I just found this out not too long ago that, you know, when they say you could throw it in your dryer and activate it and reactivate this carbon, you have to have a dryer that's putting out heat over 170 degrees to activate that carbon. And we as a homeowner, our dryers don't get that hot to do that. But that, I don't know if that's a selling point for them or what, but you really have to have a hot for that to work. You know what I mean? So you got to get it to 170 degrees to reactivate that carbon, which is very hard to do in your residential dryers. So you just got to be careful what you buy and how it's advertised. I learned it's things like that. So that's really cool information that I learned this past week. And that's why I wanted to do this live and sort of bring it to you guys and let you guys know about it. But if you look it up and research it yourself, you'll see, you know, that the carbon suits and stuff like that, you need to get pretty hot to activate that carbon. And if it's over 170 degrees, you're going to be damaging your clothes by doing it. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful. Yeah, because you have plastic on your outfit, you have stitching, you have rubber, you know, you have stuff like that. And you're putting that into that extreme heat, and it's going to damage your clothes. You know what I mean?
Yes, easily.
So, and then here's another thing right here. Is the ozonics. I use the ozonics, the ozone machine. And I'm still checking this out. Hey, Chris, if you're home, buddy, if you want to stop up, I'm going to share the link for you. If you need to get ready, if you want to stop up on the live, you're more than welcome to do that. I'll share the link for you. But the ozone machines, you know, I still don't know 100%.
I haven't made my mind up on them either yet.
About them, because I can smell the ozone, okay? And I just have it in my head that I think that the deer may be able to smell that too. If I could smell that, deer's nose is 100 times stronger than ours. So if I could smell that ozone when I'm in the stand, I'm wondering, you know, how the deer if they can smell that too and relate that to danger. You know, because that's fair. It's fairly new on the market, but it's been out for a few years. But you know, and I'm a strong believer of if deer smell Tink 69 in the woods, everybody's buying Tink 69, or everybody's buying Code Blue, or everybody's buying Code Red. Yeah. And I think that the deer will adapt and they'll start putting that scent as danger eventually. You know what I mean? So, because I get into it kind of crazy, where I'm like, you know, I just research a lot of things and get into it kind of crazy. It's liquid, Ted. It's liquid. I'm watching home now. It's liquid.
Probably talking
I don't know.
Is he talking about I forgot the name of that thing that you had.
The X10? Yeah, the X10 is liquid. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a powder too, though, that they and I think that's the older version is the powder, but the new stuff is the liquid, he's saying.
Okay.
It's a liquid. Yeah. That's what Chris is saying. So thank you for that, Chris.
Okay.
I don't have it yet. I'm ordering it and I'm going to get that. So it's not a powder. I correct myself. It's a liquid now. So the X10D is the liquid, Chris said. So, but yeah, I'm a strong believer in scent control, but like the ozone, I don't know yet. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I've used it in situations and I've had deer win me, but.
See, and that's the thing, like where I'm at. Like I said, I'm a budget kind of person.
Yeah.
So I listen to people and I take their opinion, like reviews and stuff like that a little more, because I don't know what that runs. But I think it's fairly, I'd rather invest my money in a scent lock suit, I think, for me, than go out and buy that. First is what I'm getting at.
Yep. No, and if you're a budget hunter, you have to, prioritize what you think is more important, for you and yourself. You know, like if you don't want to. I mean, that Ozonics machine is the $379 or something like that. So it's kind of expensive.
Yeah.
You know, and then you go into a scent lock suit, you're looking at $500-600 for the whole suit. So you got to weigh your options and see what's going to be more useful. But then take in mind with your, do your research on the scent block and the scent blocker and stuff like that. Look at it, and then do your research with the activation too, with the heat and everything with the carbon and how you activate it. Because I've had scent block and scent blocker for the last 15-20 years. I've been using that religiously, and I'm hoping that I'm activating that in my dryer. But if I'm not activating that, I feel that I wasted my money in a way. I could have done something else. And this Shield coming along and doing this with your base layers. Hey, all that fluff and stuff. Thank you. I feel that maybe, was it a gimmick? I don't know. I don't want to say anything because I don't want to badmouth anybody. Scent block or scent lock, they're a big company and I know they put the research in themselves. So I don't want to say it doesn't work, but it has you thinking about a lot of things like, getting rid of your bacteria and stopping the odor would be more beneficial than containing it. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with that. So I'm going to try the Shield now from here on out. And,
that sounds really good.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do that and try it out and use it. And like I said, they invited me on the field staff, so I took that opportunity. So I'm going to promote them and use their products from here on out. And they're not paying me or anything to do that. They're just, hey, wannabe, what's up, Matt? Thank you for coming in. They invited me to be on it, and I took them up on that, and I'm going to promote them and use it. So, and like I said,
it sounds like a great product for. I shouldn't say I'm a budget. I'm a guy that wants to get the best bang for the buck.
Yeah.
More or less type of thing.
Yeah, and there's a Shield right there, their website, if you guys want to check that out.
That's up my alley, that Shield. That sounds like something that for me.
And it doesn't cost that much. It doesn't cost that much. It's worth it. And it does have a 5-year shelf life.
Yeah.
A lot of these other plant-based thing and enzyme-based are only got like a 2-year. So that's why you see in the stores all the time, end of year sale, you'll see a bottle of it for $2 because it's breaking down. So when you buy that, are you buying a product that's full strength and it's going to work for you, or are you just wasting your money? So there's a lot of stuff that comes involved with that. Yeah. And so it's just something to think about. I'm just putting it in your head. You guys pick and choose what you want to do. I'm not
Yeah.
saying there's anything don't work or work. I'm
Right.
just a big believer of the Limit Shield and the products that they have. And
Yeah.
if you guys go research it and find out for yourself with the information that they put out there for you, but then again, don't believe all the information that's out there either. So
Right.
you got to
Right.
pick and choose what you want to do. So
Right.
yeah. So, but like Matt said, he can't wait to get his Limit Shield. I was sweating like a bucket right during the day. Yeah, and so if you're interested in it, I'd appreciate you guys go over there, check that out, and if you guys want to buy it. But by no means am I saying you have to buy it or it's 100% guaranteed. But they do have a great warranty where it's if you're not happy with it and it doesn't work for you, they will buy you 2 products of your choice and give you your money back. So that's a pretty strong warranty in my eyes.
Yeah.
So, but does anybody else have anything that they want to add for scent control? Because I want to get into another part of the scent control with the deer and what I think happens when you're in the woods. So if anybody has anything.
I think I'll jump down in case somebody else wants to jump up. And
all right, Steve. Well, thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, stop in more often and jump up on panel. You're more than welcome anytime, sir.
I'll still be in the chat.
All right, great. Thank you. You have a great night.
You too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So I'm going to put the link back up here if anybody else wants to come up. And I'm going to give you my opinion and what I think my theory is with deer hunting and scent. Can I copy this here and paste it? There it is. So there is the StreamYard link if anybody wants to come up and join. Okay, so getting back to my theory and what I think is, I hunt Ohio and I hunt PA. Most of the time in PA, I'm hunting locally around the house. Thank you, Wannabe, for sharing that link. I appreciate you. If anybody wants to share anybody's link in here, anybody that's a moderator, please do so. I don't know if I have everybody as a moderator in here or not. Let's see. Chad, anything can be a mod. I'm managing my standard. So we got that. We got Wannabe is, anything is, city sticker is. So we got a bunch of moderators in here. If anybody wants to share anybody's link, feel free to do that. So getting back to what I was saying, I hunt Ohio and I hunt PA. Actually, I hunt like 2 spots in PA. I have a camp down in the Uniontown area, and I hunt that, and that's a little bit bigger woods and more. Hey, Diana, thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. And that's a little bit bigger woods. And what I'm getting at is I hunt around my house also, like, in the suburbs of the city and things like that. And what I believe how scent works is if you're hunting in the city, a deer is smelling cars, it's smelling breakfast, it's smelling a lot of people at bus stops and walking down the street because these deer are in people's backyards and small woodlots. So they smell human scent every day. So I believe that in like the city and suburbs and things like that, deer hunting, you can get away with your scent a little bit more than you can in the big woods, like Ohio and like at my camp and things like that. So what I think is, like, when I'm in Ohio, and if your scent isn't right, if a deer smells you or you don't even see the deer that smelled you, you're not going to put eyes on that deer. They're just a little more sensitive to human scent, I'm going to say, as opposed to by your house. You're hunting these backyard bucks and stuff like that. So you can get away with your scent a little bit more in your local areas. And what I mean by that is, if you rate your scale, like if a deer rates danger by the strength of human scent. So if a person is within a few yards of a deer, then they know that you're close to them. So if they smell on a scale from 1 to 10, and 10 being the strongest human scent, if they smell an 8, 9, 10 scale, they know there's danger in the area. They're going to be on alert, or they're going to get out of there. But if you can minimize your scent by using scent products, you can act like you're further away, as I want to say. You don't smell as dangerous to a deer, and they think that you're farther away, because you're never going to totally eliminate your hunting scent or your human scent in the woods. So I believe that you have to minimize it to a point where they don't think you're close to them. So if you smell like you're 200 yards away from a deer, they're going to be more relaxed around you in your stand, and act normal. But if they smell really strong, then they know there's something by them, that they're going to be on alert, and they're going to either get out of there or they're going to alert other deer of your presence. So, and that's where I'm getting at. Is like if I'm hunting at the golf course by my house, is Pasture Woods down here, and I go out there, they're smelling people on a golf course and everything. So my scent doesn't have to be 100% gone, or at least minimized, because they smell that all the time. But if I'm in the woods of Ohio, where they're not smelling humans all the time, and we walk in 2 miles and they don't smell you, but if they get this thing, it's you smell closer, they're going to react to your scent more in the big woods than they would in your local areas, is what I'm saying. So try to minimize your scent as much as you can, so you sort of smell sort of far away from a deer, is what I'm saying. The technical terms, I don't know how that would be, but if you get my point, what I'm saying is if you smell like you're not a threat to a deer, and they can smell you and they think that you're farther away than you actually are, then the odds are in your favor a lot better than smelling like you're right up on the deer, if you know what I'm saying. So that's just my point of view with that. And I believe that the Limit Shield and the ozonics and that do that for me. They make me smell like I'm a lot further away than I really am. So I fool the deer's nose as much as you can. So, but that's all I have for scent control. Does anybody have any questions or anything about scent control they want to add? I'm going to share the link again here. If anybody wants to come up, I'm just putting it out there. So you guys, if anybody wants to come up on the stream, they're more than welcome to come up. So there it is. There it is again, guys. The stream, the link. So that's all I have for scent control. If anybody, like I said, if anybody has any issues or any questions about scent control, then speak now. We're going to let that run for a little bit. We have 15 people in here. If you guys haven't hit that like button, please do so. I'd appreciate that. And the next topic we're going to talk about is the famous October lull. Does it exist, and do you agree with it? And I know Chris touched on this in one of his podcasts not too long ago, and I wanted to touch base with you guys with the October lull. Do deer not move during October lull? Do they not move? Do they not feed? Do they not travel? I mean, what's the deal with the October lull? So if anybody wants to start the conversation off that I could answer or give you my opinion on it, I'd appreciate a question or a topic to bring up with the October lull. Steve, do you believe in the October lull? I don't even know if you have an October lull where you're at, because you live in some pristine wilderness out there. Pumping gas has always been a concern, whether hunter or fishing. Yes, you don't want to wear your hunting outfit while you're pumping gas. You don't want to have your hunting boots on when you're walking through the gas station, through the parking lot with the spilled gas and oil. You don't want to do that. I always have my clothes in a scent-free bag or box, and I always dress either when I get there or in my buddy's place before we get down there. But by no means do I walk into a store, go to McDonald's and eat breakfast with my hunting gear on and walk through a parking lot with my hunting boots on. That would be a no-no. That would just inviting, just ringing a bell for the deer, letting you know that you're in the woods, letting them know that you're in the woods. So, hey, Broadhead, thanks for coming back in, buddy. Appreciate you. So the October lull, does it exist, or does it? Or doesn't it? I believe it does not. Just to start this conversation off, I don't think there's an October lull. And I'll give you my reasoning for that in a second here. I'd let you guys simmer on that question for a bit before we do anything. But like I said, tomorrow we're going to make a rocket run down to Ohio. And we're going to check our stands. We're going to freshen up our scrapes, and we're going to pull cards for our cameras. And I'm going to dump out some more minerals in my hunting area. So it's like Christmas morning tomorrow. I'm going to be pulling my card to see what the heck is down there. And I know my buddy's already got some pictures of some bruiser bucks down there. So I'm anxious to see what's in my area. So many hunters in the woods and archery, it's natural for them to hide more. I don't know about the hunters in the woods anymore. I don't think this day and age hunting. What is October lull? No, October lull, Lull, the lull. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but Lull, the Lull, the October Lull. I don't mean to ask you this in the right way, but where do you hunt in Ohio, or what area public, lease, private? I have a lease in Ohio, and we hunt public land in Ohio. Broadhead. I have both. I hunt public and I hunt a lease property that I have with my buddy and his wife. And I've seen just as many big bucks on the lease that I have in public. Hey, Backwoods Barbarian, what's up, buddy? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. So that's that. Hey, buddy, can you bring up the live stream upcoming tomorrow night? Nope, I'm not doing it. Of course, Jason. JJ Drones is having a live stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. and that's Eastern time. And that is going to be about the Secret Santa coming up that we're going to be doing. It's more of his channel. I just help out with it. So if you guys are interested in the Secret Santa, like we did last year, please you're going to want to watch that live tomorrow at 8 p.m. on JJ Drones channel. Anything, could you please share Jason's channel link for me, if you don't mind? I'd appreciate that. But Jason's going to be explaining all the rules and everything that we want to have done in that. Have you ever hunted what they call Egypt Valley? Yes, I hunt right by Egypt Valley, and I have hunted Egypt Valley. There are big ones in Egypt Valley for sure. Broadhead, he was not lying when he said there's some big ones in there. So yes, you are correct about Egypt Valley. But also Egypt Valley, I heard, is haunted too. So you got to be careful when you're hunting down there. And there's a lot of UFO sightings down there. And I think Bigfoot. So you got to be careful down there at Egypt Valley. Look it up online. You'll see all the hauntings and stuff like that. Pretty interesting place. So what do you guys think about the October Lull? And what I mean by the October Lull hunting and stuff is, if you haven't heard about it, it is a time of year in October when the deer disappear and go underground. They are non-existent in the deer woods. A deer does not exist during the October Lull. They don't move, they don't eat, they don't get up, they don't stretch, they don't travel. They don't socialize during the October Lull. So take it for what it is, but I disagree with that 100%. Yes, they have had a lot of hunters gone missing at Egypt Valley. I'm just not one of them yet. So, but yes, there's a lot. If you look up Egypt Valley in Ohio, there's some interesting information out there on that. I know I didn't, but my cousin saw a mountain lion when he was in my stand down there, but I've never seen a mountain lion, but he claims he's seen a mountain lion. So that could be one of the reasons why hunters end up missing down there. All right, so since nobody's going to start the conversation off with the October Lull, I'm going to start it off by saying I believe the October Lull does not exist. Now, I don't know if Chris from City Sticker is still in here or not, but I think he would agree with me on that one. And I want to see how many people do agree or disagree about the October Lull. And I will tell you why I don't believe it exists in 1 minute. We're going to let it roll here for a little bit. Are you or Theo trapping this year since season opened today? I'm not trapping, but I have a buddy down at my camp right now who's down there since yesterday, and he is trapping and squirrel hunting right now. I just told him stay out of my area where I hunt. He can put traps wherever he wants except my area. I told him to stay out of my place because I'm seeing deer down there for Theo, so I didn't want him messing it up. But I don't know if it would mess anything up. I have a small patch of tree line right behind the house. Haven't seen any this month, but there was a kill on the property right before the no sightings. Gotcha. Bob, please take care. Have a good night. Is anything leaving? Diana, okay, you got the boring fisherman. Diana, if you're in here, could you please, she did. She shared JJ Drones, his channel. So that's cool. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Okay. So my theory, and it's just a theory, like I said, October Lull, does it exist? Does it not exist? I believe it does not exist because I believe October is the time of year for change in the woods. Oh, there he is. He's not connected, but he's going to come up here. I know he's going to be up here, and I'm glad he's up here. There he is. And he just came back from a real cool trip, of a Sika deer trip, I believe in Maine, if I'm correct. And I'm going to bring him up, and I'm not going to tell you my theory with the lull yet. I'm going to let Chris explain it. So welcome to the show, City Sticker Chris. Oh, he just left. Okay, let's see if he gets back on here. I might have just kicked him out, but I thought it said add to stream. So Chris, if you're there, buddy, I apologize unless you lost signal or something, but please come back up here because I am 100% interested in your theory. Let's see if he can. Here he is. There he is, Chris. I'm sorry. Add the stage. There he is. What's up, brother?
I just got in, man.
I know. I see. You looks like you're sweating. You're all flustered. What's going on here?
I just got home and I unpacked everything and got all the deer meat out because it was laying in a cooler.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
I can hear you.
I got two voices going here.
Do you have YouTube opened on something?
What is going on?
I don't hear an echo. Do you have a did you try to get on? You might have to go up and close a few of the tabs out.
Let me start over.
Okay.
I'll be back.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's Chris for you. And Broadhead, I believe you're right, buddy, with the switching and stuff. But I will tell you my opinion here. As soon as Chris gets situated, shut down his YouTube tab. Yes, he needs to shut down the YouTube tab backwards. And thank you, buddy. And for those in here that haven't followed Backwoods Barbarian, please go over and check him out. Great guy. He's a great supporter of channels. He has some interesting videos. He just did a video where he was grouse hunting with his wife. And they went out and had lunch together, but it was kind of a neat way that they got lunch. They had to go out and harvest their own lunch, which is awesome. So go check Backwoods Barbarian out. And if Diane could share the Backwoods Barbarians link, I would very much appreciate that. Yeah, I think it was on Chris's side, Jason. So he's going to go out and come back in here real quick. But I'm excited to talk about this October Lull. I want to hear what you guys have got to say about this. We have 16 awesome people in here. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Let's see. Let's wait for Chris to get back up. Was Backwoods on the Hoop paid $700 for a t-shirt? Yes, Backwoods Barbarian was amazing in Al's auction, Broadhead. He contributed and he was awesome. And I appreciate that so much from him. He really helped Al out a lot from his donations and things. So kudos to Backwoods Barbarian. Yes, you will have to keep the guns locked up, Backwoods, for sure. Boxy Outdoors, what's up, buddy? Thank you for coming in, bud. I appreciate you. Boxy, if you want me to share the link, if you want to stop in, he's part of the Rubline Scents crew also. So I'm going to share the link, and anybody can come up on here. I'm just sharing the link again if anybody wants to come up. I know Chris was up here, but he had an issue with his YouTube. So we're going to go back and we're going to wait for him to come back up. And I hope he does because he's a person that I want to talk. He's a good friend of mine. Boxy and Chris, we are on the Rubline Scents team together, and we've been trying that. I'll have to get set up. Okay, Boxy, if you want to get set up, buddy, take your time. We'll be on here for a while because this is my favorite time of the season, of the year, this hunting thing. Fishing tank ticks. Hey, Fishing Tank Ticks. What's up, buddy? Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. That's awesome. Thank you. New here. I appreciate you coming in. I'm surprised Matt isn't up here, but I know he just got in from hunting also. But I got the link shared. If any of you guys want to come up and talk hunting, let's talk this October Lull, because I would love to get all your guys' opinions and your theories on this. Don't make me blush. That fella, thanks for the kind words, man. It's all done for God's glory. Thank you. Yep, I do appreciate you, buddy. And Al's Outdoors, the auction, I was honored to be a part of that on my channel. It went super, super good. It went a lot better than expected. It was smooth. Everybody was so giving in that auction. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you guys are in this chat and we're part of that, I just wanted to say hats off to you guys, because we made it happen for Al, and he really needed that. So I was honored to do it on my channel. But I had a bunch of people behind me on that. We had Mark J. Larson. We had we had a donation from somebody to not be disclosed. Hey, Indiana Chris, what's up, buddy? And we had Mark J. Larson. So we had Boxy Outdoors. We had a bunch of people involved. Jason from JJ Drones was in that. And Fishing Tank Ticks is saying hello to everybody. So I appreciate that. And Chris is not in here yet, but all right, I will tell you how I feel about the October lull, and then if Chris jumps back up here, we'll get his view, and then if Boxy gets up here. But like I said, put in the chat, I'd like to get your view on it. So the October lull to me, there he is. Let's get him back up here.
You.
Hello.
I keep hearing two of you, and I only got 2 tabs open.
Really?
Yeah. One says StreamYard, one says Off the Hook Live.
Okay, go into the Off the Hook Live and X out of that.
All better.
You all better?
Yeah, all better.
There you go. See that?
Flustered.
See that,
man.
buddy? No, that's okay. I understand you just come back from a trip. You're all wore out.
Yep.
But yeah, that's awesome. So let me thank you, Indiana Chris. I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you so much. Let me just give you my theory on the October lull. And I know if anybody wants to hear any more about the October lull, please go to Chris's podcast. And he just did, I believe, last week on the October lull.
Yeah, two in a row, actually.
Two in a row, because that's a pretty big deal here in PA also with this October lull thing.
Yeah.
So October lull, Lull, I guess supposedly the deer dig a hole in the ground and hide for all October, or at least a part of October. They don't eat, they don't travel, they don't socialize, they don't do anything in the deer woods. They just disappear. They leave the state and come back in November.
Sounds pretty accurate. I've heard that before.
Yeah, you have heard that before. So my theory is, I say no. Okay, a deer does not just disappear, don't move in the woods. And I believe happens in October when everybody claims it's the law. I just believe that it's just a change in the deer's habits. Where we all set up our stands in September or even earlier. So we're looking at food patterns for deer. We're looking at their travel patterns. And we got some guy, I don't even know who this guy is here. There he is. So Boxy, there's Boxy Outdoor. Everybody welcome Boxy in. How are you, buddy?
Hey, doing good.
Who's that? Who's that old fella?
Yeah.
Right.
There's my partner.
I'm surprised he's still up so late here, Chris. I thought he'd be napping.
That's my partner. Did you shoot anything yet, partner? Boxy, did you shoot anything?
Yeah, I got it. Give me a second here. I got to mute.
I've done that before too. I've muted Chris without him knowing many times.
I had to go over because I had the thing going on like Chris did. I had to go over and mute the Off the Hook Live.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that way, because I was getting that feedback as well.
Cool. So I was talking about the October lull, Boxy, and I'm going to give you my spiel here. Is I believe that it's just a change in October. Everybody puts their stands up in August, September. They're looking at the travel patterns of the deer at that time, which are feeding habits, basically 100% feeding habits. You can find bedding areas at that time, but in October, their patterns change. They're coming off of that feeding pattern now. They're traveling and they're finding territory. So they're going out, they're spreading out more. They're going further than their home turf. Basically, they're walking around trying to find a good rutting area. They still got to feed. They still got a bed, but they're not bedding in the areas that you are used to and where your stands are set up. So if I'm on a travel route to an acorn tree and I'm set up on that travel route and I'm used to seeing deer September and October on my cameras, and I'm in the woods and I physically see deer traveling back and forth from bedding to feeding, Well, now that deer isn't so much concerned about feeding right now. He's more concerned about finding a territory, making scrapes, making rubs, claiming his territory. So he may be out there a little further than he normally is. His core area now has expanded. So having your stand in that area, you're not seeing him as much, but I guarantee you're getting pictures every once in a while at night or anything from him where he's frequenting the area, but he's just not in that area as much. So I believe the October lull is the time where you have to get down, put boots on the ground, and find the new areas where these deers are frequenting to be successful during the so-called October lull. And that's my take on the October lull. So Chris was on here first, Boxy. I'm going to ask Chris his take, and then I'm going to ask you about it.
Okay, my biggest point I'll make, just in addition to what you said, is you're gonna, like you said, guys are out there hanging stands and things. It's more of a pressure thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think these deer, they get pressured, they get pushed off of their home range because everybody's out there beating the woods down. And what happens is they're daylighting somewhere. They're just not daylighting where you think they should be. Because they're so reclusive, especially the big boys. They're going to get out of harm's way and avoid any conflict they can. So
Gotcha.
In addition to what you said, that I would just add that.
Okay. So you agree with me on that? Like how I said?
Yeah, pretty much.
Is there any points that I made that you disagree on?
I didn't listen that closely because I was checking some other messages. I've been off the grid for 4 days, guys.
Well, at least you're honest with me. But yes, Chris agrees with me 100%, guys. So let's get Boxy's take on this.
All right. So let me throw a big spin on this.
Okay.
Because as I agree with both of you guys,
mm-hmm.
what you guys said proves that there is a lull. Because there are going to be people that are experiencing the inactivity of deer in a certain area.
And I would say that is a great point.
So to that point being, is there an October lull? And I agree that there is an October lull. However, as hunters, we got to get ourselves out of the area of the lull,
mm-hmm.
and get yourself into the activity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because knowing exactly what you guys just laid out.
The law's man-made.
Correct.
And
I think that with the changing, deer, disperse, bucks are finding their territory. So that early season, those deer are moving. And if you don't move with those deer, you're going to experience the October lull.
So let me reinforce what you just said.
Yeah.
And I said this on my podcast, and it probably ruffled some feathers.
Yeah.
So if you're out there telling people there's a lull, and you're telling them that they've gone nocturnal on you, you know what you're admitting? Yeah. You know what you're admitting? You're admitting the deer are beating you.
Well, yeah, right.
Because you're not going where the deer are at. You're not finding them. They're avoiding you because you came into their.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I'm saying
you came into their bedroom.
I agree. I agree 100% what you guys are saying. And I'm not saying that deer are going nocturnal, and I'm not saying that deer stop moving, or we know they got to get up. They got to stretch. They got to feed. They got to get water. They're moving. It's just
not in your area.
They might not be moving where you were set up because you were seeing them, in the summertime, that first week. And I think pressure has a lot to do with it. I know I hunt a lot of game lands, and I will tell you guys, the first week I was seeing deer. I'm having a hard time right now getting back on those deer.
Yeah.
Two of the areas I hunt pretty much exclusively, I've seen more pressure in the first 3 weeks than I have probably in the last 5 years. So the deer sightings are coming small and far in between. So
yes.
That's what my partner doesn't want to hear up there, but
you know what though, boss? Here, I gotta let you in on something. I had 4 target bucks. I found out while I was down in Maryland hunting Sika. It's pronounced Sika.
Sika deer, yeah.
While I was down there hunting Sika, there was I was checking some Facebook back at the hotel when I did have some internet,
Mhm.
and my target buck was killed by a little girl with a crossbow.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, it's a bummer that you didn't get it, but it's awesome that it was a little
It's-
girl.
But
Yeah.
it's
Great.
you
It's
know
great
you
to
know what's
hear.
better than that? You want to know what's better than that is I now know about it, and
Yeah.
I'm not out there trying to hunt them. So now I've got 3 other on the hit list. I passed 2 of them already. Guess what?
Right,
They don't get a pass now.
No
Are you
pass.
talking about
No
the fork?
pass.
You talking about the half rack fork,
Yep.
high fork one? Okay.
He's one, and
He's
then
cool.
the huge 8-point that I passed on the first Monday
Yeah.
because it was getting dark.
Awesome. So
I
there is a gentleman on here, my son's buddy, baseball life, Mason. He wanted me to give him a shout out. So Mason, I'm giving you a big shout out, buddy. Thank
There
you for
you go.
coming in. I appreciate you, Mason. Thank you very much.
Hello,
That's
mate.
funny.
Mason is a great ball player. He's a great basketball player and he's a great baseball player. So thanks for coming in, Mason. I appreciate you,
Is
buddy.
Mason gonna hunt someday?
I don't know. I don't know if Mason hunts. Mason, if you're on here, are you a hunter or fisherman? And I'm sure if he's not a hunter or fisherman, I'm sure he can come up to the lake and I can take him fishing with Theo one
Yeah.
day.
How come I have no
So,
chat?
I just wanted to do that,
I
just
got
to
no chat.
give
There
it to
it is.
Mason because Mason's a good kid. Great ball player. Tell Theo he has the goat. He has the great at football. Goat at football. I don't know what he is.
He's the GOAT, greatest of
He's
all
the-
time.
Greatest all time at football.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Diana in her base. Thank you. Okay, so Mason said thank you. So, but yeah, so yeah, you guys are on the same team. I see. My dilemma is, let me put backwoods up here too, so you guys can look at that. My dilemma is, I have a partner who only shoots trophies, so he's not going to shoot nothing in PA unless it's a monster. So I told him next year I may have to go. I have to may lower my standards a little bit on my teammate and get somebody who's just can shoot a deer, but he won't shoot a small deer, so he's waiting for that big one. And you know how hard it is in PA to get that wall hanger. So the last 2 years I've gotten bucks and he hasn't. So I may have to switch over to get somebody that's I don't want to say more reliable because he's my best friend and he'll be mad at me if I say that, but he don't shoot small deer, so it's tough.
Hey.
When he kills one, maybe you guys will win.
Yeah, we'll see. So
Hey, just make sure he's taking some arrows out there with him.
yeah, I wasn't gonna say nothing on this live.
Oh, I figured I'd say it before it got out there.
And that's the best way to do it. Just say it, and that way they can't mess with you.
Make sure he's locked and loaded, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, I will let you know. Every time I've been out this year, I've had some arrows. So
That's awesome.
I've had the business end.
So, hey guys, real quick in the background here, we have another guest here that I want to bring up for a little bit. I probably won't keep him up here the whole live because we're discussing some issues and some topics. But I'm going to bring Broadhead Outdoors up here, Wyatt, real quick, just so he can get on the stage here. And we'll say hi to him, and he can tell us what he wants to say, and then we'll get back at it.
Yeah, he was that 12-year-old from up by Boxy there, I think.
Yeah, and there he is, Broadhead Outdoors. What's up, Wyatt? How are you, buddy?
Hey guys.
Hey,
How
how
you
we
doing?
doing?
What's up, Wyatt?
I like the furs behind you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
we can
thank
hear
you.
you, buddy.
Yep.
Yeah,
They're just
Yep.
some of the hides I've gotten over the years.
cool.
These are all my firsts.
But
That's awesome.
I have
Boxy
a
just
couple
gives
more
a
that's
deer a
been
really good
sitting in the
chance.
freezer for a couple years.
There's a comment from Ottercap Boxy for you. So
Yeah,
what's up?
That is a true sportsman. I give him a chance.
Baseball life. I got a bunch of but we can go fishing there, Mason. So get your rod ready, and we'll go up and we'll go fishing this year on the lake. Get you on some of them smallmouth. But so what's up, Broadhead? What do you got to bring to the table tonight, buddy?
Nothing much.
Do you have
but
any
I just
questions?
have like
Any questions?
that. My opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think so. But my opinion on like the October lull,
Yes.
I don't really think there is one. It's just the deer, like, for example, they've been browsing all year throughout the woods. And now all their browsing material, like all their plants, they're going bad. So they're coming to, let's say, our cornfields we planted or our food plots.
Let me ask you something real quick, Wyatt. Do you have the TV on in your background? Because I could
No,
hear
I don't
people
have
talking or
anything
TV in the background. I don't know who that is. Or
You
whatever.
probably hear my family
Oh, okay.
because
That's okay.
I'm sitting in my living room.
Okay, that's no problem.
I just got on real quick.
I know, no problem. Go ahead, Wyatt. Continue. I'm sorry, buddy.
No, you're good. But the Lull, like all their plants that they've been eating all year, all the leaves on the trees, as you can see, you PA guys, they're all turning already, which is kind of sad to see, but it's good to see at the same time.
I love seeing the
But-
leaves turn. I love it.
But
I
now
love it.
you know, like, there's going to be a little more action in the mornings on your cornfields and whatever food plots you've been planning. So,
Yes, it is a nice morning. It's that time of the year to get out and do those morning sits more often than early in the season. I believe so.
yeah.
And any of you guys have any opinions on that from morning and evening hunts right now at this time of the year?
It's right now you're getting into a time where it could be any minute of the day.
And I agree with that 100%.
Because it's just they're just really pushing them does around right now, and the more mature does, some of them are already coming in, so they're getting chased hard. Even where I just came from down in Maryland hunting the Sika.
And we are going to get into the rut in a little bit after the Lull, so that'll be a good topic to talk about the rut also.
Okay, but
Yep.
yeah, they're in hot and heavy right now down there, just bugling like crazy, and they was chasing deer. You know,
There you go, Chris.
Got the core foam. There you
go,
go.
buddy.
Yeah, that sure helped out this weekend. We I got a lot to say, but I don't want to mess up your live here.
Okay.
Because I've got a lot to say about Scent Shield and and my hunt and all that. But
nice.
You run the show.
Wait, I got you.
You run the show.
Okay.
I don't want to start blabbing about something and get you off on a rabbit trail.
Well, make sure you call me tonight and let me know.
Because actually, me and Dave's going to record the podcast at 8 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, you are?
Talk about our trip for the Sika.
Well, that's good. There. That'll be good to hear. Make sure guys go over and watch that. Definitely.
Spoiler alert, I got a monster. So
nice.
Yeah, really nice one. So
yeah,
it's we're gonna record that at 8 a.m. It'll be out at 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Cool. Make sure you guys tune into that for sure. I saw the picture already, so I know.
Yeah. So anybody that's in the chat, if they would help a brother out, go over and subscribe, and then you can hear my story tomorrow there at 5 p.m. on my channel, City Sticker Chris.
Yes, and Diana, if you're in here, could you please share City Stickers link and also boxes for me, please? I'd appreciate that if you're still in here. So Wyatt, so what are you doing now? You gonna? Because I'm gonna get you up here for another question or two, and then I'm gonna take you off the screen if you don't mind, because Boxy and City Sticker, we want to hit this rut. So you go ahead and tell whatever you need to say, or whatever, if you have any questions or you want to talk about anything else.
I mean, Ted, you already harvested your buck for this year in PA. So
Yeah.
Going out to Ohio soon.
Yeah, I did.
But Chris or Boxy, do you guys have any target bucks this year, or you're just
right before you came on, Wyatt? Right before you came on, I was just talking about I had 4 that I wanted to shoot, and while I was down in Maryland hunting the Sika deer, I was scrolling through my Facebook and found out through another forum that a local girl about your age shot my big target buck with a crossbow out of a shanty.
How far away from your area did she get it?
Right across the road.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, a guy has a piece of property, and there's nothing on it but his hunting shanty, and he planted apple trees there about 15 years ago. And he hunts in his shanty, just sitting in there with a crossbow all the time. And now his granddaughter's old enough to hunt, and he took his granddaughter out, and my target buck came in there, and she shot him.
Soft mass is killer right now. Right at that early October, middle of October.
Hey, 13 points.
Yeah, that's nice.
Nice.
It was a big rack.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 more target-rich environment areas here.
And that's
It's
like
on.
what Boxy said though. At least a kid got it, and that's awesome.
I'm
that a
not
kid
mad.
got it. Yeah.
I'm not mad by any means. I'm just, my biggest thing was, now I'm glad that I know it's
At
gone,
least you know, yeah.
because I could be sitting over there hunting them all month and he's already dead.
Mhm.
I'm passing up these other ones on the hit list,
Yeah.
and he's already dead. I
Well,
should be shooting
that's
these
a common problem that a hunter has. They're out
For
there
sure.
hunting a ghost, and
Yep.
that's why I believe in trail cameras. Now, a trail camera by far, in my end, and this is what I think is, it doesn't catch everything, because I put up a mock scrape this year down at my camp, and I had a trail that I put another camera on, and the trail was 25 yards away from my mock scrape. Okay, and I got 1,500 pictures off of this trail, and I didn't have one picture off of my mock scrape of any of those bucks. Now, I had pictures of bucks in my mock scrape. I was using rubline scents, and I had deer in my scrape, but it was funny because only one of the bucks that I got on the trail was over at the scrape. I had different bucks at the scrape, and I had different deer at the trail, and the trail was only 25 yards away. So that just goes to show you that if I was basing my camera, my sightings off of one camera, I wouldn't have seen the other bucks at the scrape, and vice versa. So it only takes a few yards of your camera, and them deer will skirt around it, and you will never know. So you still got to be in there. You still got to scout. You got to be in your stand, because you never know what you're going to see in the woods.
It's proven fact that your trail camera is only reliable 30% of the time.
Yes.
So, you can't solely rely on them, because actually you're missing a lot more than you think you are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like you said, if you've hung it over a mock scrape, you get 100 pictures. You probably had 300 sightings, and
you would have never known. Yep.
Never known it. You just got 100 of them or so.
And I know a guy that is, and this is my buddy, who would hunt a deer based on his sightings on his camera, and he's never seen that deer in the woods. He's seen them on camera, but and even at night, or even you've seen them during the day. But once you're in the woods, those deer find a way around you, or they know you're there.
Yeah.
So that's why I was talking about scent control being so important. You know what I mean?
Well, this target buck that got shot, I saw it all summer, and then it started skirting the area, and I haven't seen it daylighted since. Had it on camera a couple of times, but I haven't seen it with my own eyes.
Cool.
So, but I've got the other two, like I said, they were daylighting, and obviously, because I made that video with that that fork buck.
Yeah, that's a nice buck. I'd shoot him.
You know what? He needs taken out solely because if he's like that genetically now, I mean, he has an injury. His eye on that side was blind, but if now that's genetics that he's passing on, I got to get rid of him, or I'm going to have a bunch of screwballs running around.
Yeah, yes, for sure. But that's a nice buck to get. But yes, I think you're correct.
Well,
you want to get those genes out of there.
If you watch that last 10 seconds of the video, I show him chasing does through the field. If you look at that rack, it comes way out there. If he had both sides and they were symmetrical, he'd be a stud.
Yeah, he'd be a nice one. So Boxy, I hear you are not seeing them now, or what? Or they're just not in the area?
I'm having a hard time. Yeah, I'm not seeing much deer movement in two of the main areas that I hunt. However, I can tell you the pressure in those areas. I did not I mean, probably in the 5 years I've maybe ran in maybe one or two other hunters, and I see deer often. This year, in the one area, I've ran into 4 guys already.
Wow.
I actually had my daughter hunted with me the first day, and I put her up in a stand, and we had 2 guys come in and sit down beside her 40 yards.
Wow.
And
knowing she was there.
Oh yeah.
That drives me nuts.
So I mean, it is what it is. It's public land.
Yeah.
And then the area that I hunt up there at the swamp, that I've been kind of spoiled because, and sometimes it worries me because I hunt that area. They see my truck there. eventually you're going to start getting some other people coming into that area. Hey, this guy's always in there hunting.
Yeah.
What's in there? What's he seeing that he's in there all the time?
Yep.
But it is what it is. This part of the season coming up, you never know what's going to happen. I proved that last year going in blind into an area.
Blinded without any arrows. I had to say that. I had to say it.
You leave the truck with three bolts, and you get to your tree with none.
Well,
so
I would say the deer won on that one, huh?
Yeah. Am I worried? No. Am I frustrated a little bit? Yeah. I'm hunting. The pressure as well as I'm hunting deer right now.
Well, that's one thing that I wanted to bring. You have to hunt. You have to actually hunt the hunters and sort of use the hunters to your advantage, or I know that it's basically a disadvantage when you have hunters in your area, but you got to take that extra step and sort of hunt the hunters, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, and then I was dealing with some duck hunters and stuff today, but Dr. Goose or whatever they were down there shooting. But
I gotcha.
The area that there's it's kind of like a little swampy area, but it's an overgrown field. There's a cut that comes up through there. It's kind of like funnels them down. But there's some guys that come right down in there to get to, of course, the water.
Yeah. So that's sort of cut you. Yeah, they cut you.
Yeah. Not saying that they were the reason I didn't see anything today, but it is what it is.
I hear
as far as answering Wyatt's question, it's pretty simple for me. It's got to have 3 up, and Boxy's going to draw on it and hopefully get a good shot.
So your target buck is 3. Your target buck is 3 and up, right?
3 up, yeah.
3 up, target buck. So, but I wanted to say to Mason real quick, Theo's not sleeping. Theo is working the haunted house at the church. So, and don't worry, buddy, you're not ruining my stream by asking me a question, bud. So that's all. But Wyatt, you have anything else you want to add to this, bud?
Yeah, I have a couple target bucks this year. I put out my first trail camera. I got one. From Dick's Sporting Goods. It was on sale. I'm like, I've always wanted to try them. Just picked one up for like $50. So I have a couple bucks that would be cool to shoot. Just like a cool story. Just they're like a 4 and a 6 point. Not nice bucks, to be honest. But it would be cool to shoot them because like they were on my trail camera, and then saw them for a couple days there, and then a couple weeks later I got a picture of them again, and
I've been hunting for 30 years, and you know how many deer I've shot that I've got a picture of on my trail camera?
2.
Yeah, you're right. I shot 2 bucks that I've got on my camera. That was a pretty good answer there, by it, definitely. But 2 bucks in 30 years that I got pictures of and I've taken on my camera. Just 2 in 30 years that I've got pictures of and actually taken that buck. Yeah.
It's not easy.
And then, sadly, since this is my first year archery hunting, which isn't an excuse that I should be wounding deer, but I accidentally hit a buck a little high above the lungs this year.
And I wanted to tell you that.
Void.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like above the spine, above the lungs, below the spine.
Yeah, the meaty part of the deer, the back straps. Yeah, but that's a good thing. But I would want to tell you, don't get discouraged because it happens to everybody. And any deer with a bow is a trophy in my eyes. I don't care if it's a doe or a buck.
Yeah.
If you get a deer within range and you fooled that deer and you get a shot with a bow, you're doing something special. So always remember that a deer with a bow is a trophy no matter what it is.
And I
just give me a little pep talk.
But
no, you're fine, buddy.
My uncle, he saw a nice buck for me on trail camera, and then it ran right through his yard. I'm hunting right below his yard because it fits all the legal limits for me to hunt by myself. Because as long as someone's at home, at his house,
you're within range.
For me as a kid, I can do that.
That's awesome, and I commend you for going out there and doing that. You know what I mean, by yourself. That's pretty cool.
He's actually a pretty funky buck, which I want to take him off the property because, like, Chris, I think you were saying, like, just bad genetics is not good to spread them across your property. But he has 2 points on one side, like just a little fork. Then the other side is like he's a full-grown 5 points on the one side, so he's like a
That's
weird
awesome.
7 point.
Yeah, take him up.
Yeah, take him up, buddy. Awesome.
Yeah,
All right. Well, Wyatt, I'm going to put you down off of the panel here, but I appreciate you coming up, and you're welcome anytime you want to come up on panel, buddy. I appreciate you. Keep hunting and
I just
don't.
want to say one more thing. Got the freezer bound outdoors hat on real quick.
Oh, you don't have to. You don't have to. You don't have to bring that up on here. Freezer bound. No, I'm just kidding. But Adam is a good buddy of all of ours. Freezer bound out there. They do great things out there with the kids and the youth. And Adam's a great guy. And Renee and all them guys.
Yeah.
They host our rendezvous every year. That's a great channel. So if you guys haven't checked out Freezer bound, that was a good shout out, Wyatt. I was just kidding.
Yeah, I'll be up there on the 27th, I believe, hunting with Adam.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, Wyatt.
2F.
Cool.
Yep.
2F
and dudes.
Thanks for
You
having
bet.
All right, Wyatt.
Hey, see you, Wyatt. Have a good night.
Have a great night, buddy.
See ya. You too.
Bye. All right, that was Wyatt from Broadhead Outdoors. You got to commend that kid. He's a pretty good kid. He's
working at it, man.
He's working on it. And I love that.
Good.
I love that. Yep.
He seems like a good kid. He said he goes to a Christian school too. Mm-hmm. So he seems like a real good kid.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, without further ado, let's talk about the rut. Now, the rut, and that's what we all wait for as hunters in the woods. I think the rut is. And you guys are going to kick me when next time you see me. I think the rut is overrated at times, because I think you can get a big buck early in the season if you pattern them off of food. I think that's a really good time early in the season to get on a big buck. The rut isn't the only time. And I believe during the rut, when you're seeing deer, they're usually moving pretty good when you're seeing them. It's hard to get them to stop during the rut. So I love the rut. I love being out there. I love seeing things. I love to see the deer just come alive with deer activity. But it's very hard. I believe it's overrated in the deer woods that, you're out there in the rut, your chances are way better than early season and all that. I don't believe in that. I believe if you pattern a good deer and early on food, that you have a better chance of getting that deer. But the rut, you see more deer than you would during normal season. But it's hard to get a deer to stop during the rut, guys, and you know that. And our rut in PA is supposed to start October 29th, and it's supposed to run all the way to December 3rd. So what are your thoughts on the rut, and what are the dates that you think of, and do you like to hunt the rut, and what do you feel about it?
Who's first?
I'll do Boxy first this time.
Well, I believe kind of like what you're saying as far as I don't want to say the rut's overrated, but I think it is a lot harder to, like you said, stop a buck during the rut, especially if they're on a doe. Now, as far as archery bucks that I have killed, 2 right there at the end of October, right around actually my wife's birthday was always good to me. The 30th, October 30th.
So you're talking about the Halloween week, basically, that magic week.
That kind of week right there. And I think that to me, unfortunately, so I do got vacation starting the 26th through the 31st. And then I have a whole week's vacation the second week. It's actually the last week of archery. I think that's going to be a little bit tougher. However, as you guys know, that infamous buck that didn't get shot at, he was the last week of the season last year. So I'm kind of one of those guys that you just got to take your opportunity when you get out there. But if I was to take my vacation, I like taking that last week of October, first week of November. I just think I see a majority of my bucks during that time period. I think, though, if you have a deer pattern, I think that first week you see a lot of guys shooting a lot of big bucks that first week.
Yeah, and I I agree with you. I like that Halloween week. I believe that's what they call it in PA here, and I think you guys know is the seeking phase. When they're seeking out does is a great time to get a big buck down. But the rut, when they're actually in rut, it's very, very hard. I mean, you can jump up and down in your stand and they won't pay attention to you, and it's hard to get them to stop. But that seeking phase, I believe, starts right at that Halloween week, like in that area, and I think that's a really good time for doing that. And obviously you have your best weeks during that time and best buck sighting. So there's something to that, the seek phase and the chasing phase and all that. The chasing phase, it's just pandemonium. You know what I mean? It's like a cage match when you're in the woods when the chasing phase is going on. I mean, you see deer running 100 mile an hour. Sometimes you can't even make the rack out. They're coming by so fast. That's what happened to me in Ohio last year.
Right.
And by the way, the rut in Ohio, I wanted to bring up, is supposedly this year, the end of October to mid-November. And I have my vacation the 6th to the 10th of November for Ohio. So I'll be going down like the 4th or 5th, hunting that whole week to the 12th, I believe, is a Sunday. So I'll have that whole second week of November because the first week of November is like halfway through the week here. So I took that full second week because I like that 6th to the 10th, 12th area, like that in that area. So, Chris, what do you think?
I have shot deer on Halloween, but I prefer the first week in November, anywhere from the 2nd to the 10th, mainly the 2nd through the 7th, but I've also shot one on the 10th before. So,
and that's pretty neat that we all have different time frames and we're all in PA. Ain't that pretty neat? I just think that's neat from everybody's preference. So what is that's your favorite, and why is that, Chris?
Because I've shot my biggest bucks during that first week. Yeah. I mean, like you said, the seeking phase is good right around the Halloween time. For me, it seems like they're running them around Halloween, and that first week of November, they're out looking for them because they've run them all off, and now they're going back and they're trying to go back and sort them out and find them again, and they're out wandering around and their guards down. And I've shot a lot of them that first week of November like that. They're just out looking around. And you know, for instance, what was it? 3 years ago, it was a buck that was coming with his nose in the wind, just walking stiff-legged across this ridge, and we had a skiff of snow that day, and I got out of work and I bought my boy a crossbow, and he hadn't been using it. So I told the wife, I said, you know what? I'm going to go out and dual purpose, bear was still in, and I was looking for bear tracks in the skiffs of snow, is what I was doing actually. But with the crossbow in hand, knowing full well that I could cross paths with a buck at the same time. So yeah, this deer comes across the ridge, not paying any attention to me. I'm standing in the wide open when I see him, and I just stop and freeze, and I've got the crossbow up, and he walks right past me, goes between two trees. When he puts his head behind the tree, I hurried up and got on where I wanted to shoot him and give it to him. That's just one example, But and I'm not a crossbow hunter, but I wanted to do some walking and looking for bear track that day, and thought, you know what, I might see a buck, and I wasn't in the woods 10 minutes. Literally was not in the woods 10 minutes, and actually the first 5 minutes I ran into a different 8-point and almost shot him. And at the last minute, I thought, nah, I'll pass him. And he turned around and walked away. And I just regathered my senses and turned around and walked another 5 minutes across that ridge and ran right into him.
Nice.
Just an example of the rut. I mean, they're just out there seeking around. I mean, like I said, I call it You called it something else. I call it chasing, and then I call it a little bit later. I call it seeking, because they've chased them all away the week of October.
Now they're looking for
the
them.
week of
Yeah.
Halloween. Now they're going back and trying to seek for them.
And then I also wanted, while we're talking about the rut too, like Deer Corner just come up with, he had the comment there, the rut starts when a doe in your area comes in, not just a date on a calendar. And yeah, and it's every
Correct.
28 days.
Correct.
They fall into that their cycle. So that's why it can happen anytime from October. I've even heard of them saying September it starts too. It depends on the deer and when they come into estrus. And when their cycle starts.
That's what I was going to ask you guys. Do you feel that the doe come in heat in our area around the same time every year?
I would. All right, go ahead, Chris.
I feel the more mature ones, some of them can come in as early as like the 15th of October. And that's a proven fact. That's just not my opinion. So some of them can come in from there on up. And like Ted just said, every 28 days. And I literally, the last day I worked before I went on the Sika hunt was Wednesday morning. I went and took a half a day, but I was going into work and I literally seen a fawn with spots. It was still, I mean, it looked like it was 2 or 3 months old.
Yeah.
So obviously, and that's another thing to add to your question. This is another twist on it. Just because these deer are coming in and maybe not getting bred, the yearlings, when they reach a certain weight, they will come in and start estrus. It doesn't have to do with age. Everybody thinks they have to be a certain age to come in. It's body weight. When they gain and get mature enough that they can actually breed, then their body starts, their hormones start functioning, and they can come into estrus, and then they could be bred. And what happens is that fawn that I saw the other day, it's probably because one of the yearlings gained enough weight and came in later than the regular rut.
That's the second rut.
Yeah.
Does that
Oh,
exist?
yeah.
Well, that's another question. We're going to get into that in a second.
I think there's seconds, thirds, possibly fourths. You know,
yeah.
I believe it.
I think we're seeing that, and this is just my opinion, because if you look and you talk to these guys that study the deer and stuff, so like Florida, the southern states, they every 28 days, so they have the second and the third ruts or whatever you want to say. And I think with our last couple seasons being so warm, we're getting that same effect. Now, that's just a thought that I had, because we're seeing these, like you said, I haven't seen them with spots, but I've seen some really small deer this time of year, and you're like, man, they had just been born 4 or 5 months ago,
because they were bred late in the season. So the July bucks that are born or whatever, June bucks, June deer, it's July and August they're born, and that's why they're just, some people, you're out there hunting, you see a fawn with spots, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So now, that can happen.
John from J&J is asking what's the gestational period of a deer. Now, you can count it out. I mean, you could say November, December, January.
200. I say
March,
200.
April,
I say
May.
200 days.
So you're talking around 7 months.
Yeah, and I think that the magic number, what they say is 200 days is a gestation period for a deer.
Okay.
That's just a good, solid number. It could give or take, but 200 days is supposedly the gestation period of a deer. Now, a younger deer that gets bred, like a first year or year and a half deer, they say they normally, if they're at their body weight and they get bred early, that they usually only have one fawn when they're young. But as they mature, they get to 2 and 3, and that's the sign of a healthy herd.
I was just gonna say, it depends on their health.
Yeah, like the correct age, like bred. I mean, they're like humans. You can get a young girl that's pregnant. You can get an older lady that's pregnant. So it depends. But the way nature made it is if they're mature deer and they get bred, they have 2 or 3. That's a healthy herd. Now the deer that are bred younger, they don't have the hormones, and I guess they don't have the genetics at that point to have 2 or 3 fawns. So they usually have 1 fawn, and that's just nature's way of saying you have a healthy deer. Instead of having 2 unhealthy deer, you have 1 that got all the vitamins and minerals and everything that you need to give. You can only support 1 doe, and that's just nature's way of, taking care of the deer herd. All right, baseball life. Thanks, Mason. Thank you for coming in. And Wannabe seen some spots last month. So now let's get into the old. Is there a second rut? And I think Chris answered that. He believes there's 2, 3, and maybe possibly 4. Now,
I believe
I researched it a little bit, and I'll answer this, and then you guys can take it from there. And I've seen that Dr. James Kroll. I watch him a lot, and I respect his information basically because he's been in the industry a long time and he has some great information. He's done a ton of studies, but I mean, he's as far as saying, it doesn't have to, the temperature doesn't really affect that because he's seen deer come in the summertime in different places where they're actually in estrus and in heat, and it's 85, 90 degrees out and the deer's in heat. It's just a matter of, when it is. And I believe that OtterCat put up great quote here, or a great comment. If all the deer came in at the same time, the deer would run themselves ragged and basically, eliminate themselves, kill themselves. I don't like to say kill on here, but eliminate themselves from the herd because they are so exhausted and malnutrition from not doing anything but chase deer. And a lot of deer do that now. But and that's another thing. That's nature's way of trying to keep the deer herd balanced and having every deer come in at a different time, so it's easier on the herd. And that's just nature's way of doing things.
Yeah.
Or at least I believe that.
I could agree to that.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure.
All right. So let's get into it. Boxy, how many ruts do you believe that there's a second, third, fourth, or do you believe there's 2 ruts, 3 ruts?
I believe there's multiple ruts. I think, the significance of one versus the other. I think it's a lot less intense as there would be, the second rut, and if there is a third rut.
Mm-hmm.
And the third rut might even happen after, the PA seasons are done and over with.
Yeah, for sure.
But
thanks, Mason. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, I believe there's, I think there's, proof out there by, like you said, these scientists and these guys that, study deer and stuff like that. I think they've pretty much, told us that there is a such thing as a second rut.
Yep.
And it would just make sense. It would just make sense, just like, we're talking about, when does go into estrus, OtterCat mentioned, if they all went at one time, so that you're going to have does coming in at periods of time.
Yep.
And we all know that, unless you're way out of balance where you got more bucks than does, which usually it's the opposite way around, all those does aren't getting bred this first rut.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think it's physically possible for these bucks to. I know they're out there trying, as
Yeah.
But so they're going to come into another estrus cycle, and then these we just talking about fawns with spots. So maybe a later or an earlier fawn, I guess, if they get to that weight, could they come into estrus, a little bit later, like in January?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where your second rut is. And
but
I don't think it's not as intense.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to go out there in, early January. And no, I'm not saying you're not going to see a buck chasing a doe, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be more far in between them.
Yeah, it'll be less likely.
Yeah,
definitely.
But it's happening for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they're just picking up the ones that didn't go.
Yeah, for sure. This is all great information, guys. I appreciate you guys talking about this. But there was something that I wanted to add to that, and I cannot remember, but I will think of it in a second here. But I can't think of, for the life of me, I can't remember what I wanted to say about the rut. I don't know. So anybody else have anything on that?
Yeah.
Go ahead,
Well, not so much about the rut.
Go ahead.
So one thing that I mean, I still use them, but I've never had a success rattling a deer or a buck in. I
Me
have
neither.
had help. I've had success grunting. You know,
Yeah.
I'll grunt. I've had them come into that. I was just going to see what you guys, if you guys ever had that.
It does not
experience with
work for me in my area. Does not. And I'll tell you what, too. And I'm having a situation you just explained. I've got more bucks this year than I've seen does.
Mm-hmm.
I
So they don't
literally, that's just nuts. I've never had this situation before.
So it's going to be interesting. I already know that, you know, you had a video showing that weird kind of looking buck was chasing that doe around.
Yeah.
Kinda. So I mean, you're going to see it, but you know, it'd be interesting to see how much chasing you actually are going to see, because if there's more buck than doe,
Yeah.
them doe are going to get bred, and you know,
and the bucks don't
they
have
gonna
to
be chasing?
travel.
right?
Yeah,
They're not going to have to travel.
They have
It'll be
everything
interesting to
handed
see how that unfolds.
Yeah. Well, I'm fixing to get to work on them this week here.
Yeah. Well, the thing, go ahead.
I was getting really frustrated because I wasn't seeing the target buck. Well, now I know why, because a week ago it got shot, you know. So I hunted it for a couple extra days there. It was already dead and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
You know, but I told all the guys at work before I left for the Sika hunt, I said, you know, the New York bear hunt didn't work out. And I said, so far PA archery isn't working out. I said, if I don't kill something in Maryland, all heck's going to break loose when I get back to PA.
Look out on them 4 points in the area. Look out.
Yeah, man. Spikes, you spikes are dead.
Brown and it's down, right? Brown and down.
Yeah, I was fixing on filling the freezer.
So
I'm still going to.
Nice. So how'd them cooler bags work out for you down there? I seen you post with it. Did you like those?
They look
Yeah, I love them. Yeah.
Cool. So let me get back to this real quick with the does and the bucks. And, you know, there's tons of does around, and you have bucks that just basically have their choice where they don't have to run around and look and chase and seek and all this stuff. So do you believe in definitely managing the herd and taking out does when need to be?
If I've got too many,
yeah,
you know, like I mean, all summer I had way too many doe, I thought. And then all these bucks showed up. And even a neighbor guy, see, I'm going to get in trouble for this, but there's a couple celebrities on YouTube that say about a doe factory. You're creating doe factories if you're planting summer food plots, spring and summer food plots. And you're going to have so many does hanging out in your food plot, it's going to keep all the bucks away. Well, the neighbor guy even said it to me. He's like, oh, we got too many does. I said, yeah, I wish you and your grandkids would start shooting some, you know, around the house here. And he said, oh, it's going to really be bad this year. We ain't going to see any bucks. I said, why? He said, because you got so many does over there at that food plots that you plant. I said, I know who you're listening to. You know, he's listening to those celebrity YouTubers.
Take care, Backwoods.
Talking about doe factory. See you, Backwoods. Thanks for subscribing. I thought I already had you, but I see you signed up there again tonight. So
that's awesome. Yeah, the doe factories, to me, I've heard that too, and you know, I guess I could see it from both ways though. Like if you're creating food, the doe are in there eating all the food, and it has less food for the bucks because the doe beds closer to the food. They get in there better. They're in there more than a buck is. A buck needs all the minerals or the nutrients for their racks. But in my place down at my camp, we just started food plots, Chris, you know, like 5 years ago. We started our deer management program. Now on my property, we can't manage deer like people say they're managing deer. It's a small plot of land. It's 150 acres. They're coming through. All I'm doing is providing food for them for late in the season when they need it. And I want to have the most palatable stuff in the area. I don't want corn or soybean. I'm giving them the brassicas, the rape, the radishes. I'm giving them all the good stuff. So they want to come there. So I'm trying to pull bucks off of other land. And obviously, if you're pulling bucks, you're pulling deer, you're pulling does. But I've seen a lot of doe in the summer. Okay. But I think more towards September, October, those bucks are starting to frequent those food plots more because they got to put the weight on and everything for the rut and everything. So I welcome the does on our property because you're going to have resident deer. You're going to have some deer that can, whatever your land can support, that's what you're going to hold. No matter what you have. If you have 10 acres, if you have 10,000 acres, your land can only support so many deer. And deer in nature, that's just the way it is. You can't have 100 deer living on a 10-acre farm. It's just not going to happen. They're going to go off and find their own little resources where they can live at. So you can attract deer at certain times of the year. What I'm trying to attract them on my property for hunting season because I do have resident deer that we get pictures all the time. But when I'm in there in rifle season, I'm seeing deer that I haven't seen all year. So I know I'm pulling deer from other properties and stuff like that. And you have that seeking territory thing where deer are running. Like you get that answer, oh, a deer won't leave their core area. Well, I believe that's not true. I believe a deer will find new core areas. If they find something more palatable and better for them, they will change areas. If the food isn't what they want and more palatable somewhere else, they will change territories. I believe that 100%.
Yeah,
and I know you disagree with me. It's something that I said there, Chris. So please, let's hear it.
No.
Did you? No. Okay. I didn't know. I thought maybe you.
No. I look at the doe factory thing a different way. You know, they say it's detrimental to the amount of bucks that you're going to see, and I look at it from the opposite direction. They are my insurance plan that the bucks are going to come. Because
during the rut.
Yeah. Once they start seeking and chasing, I've got a ton of does. Guess where they're coming to find them?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that.
Eventually they're going to come see me.
Yeah. On a health level, I believe like scientific health and these people that are like monitoring deer, I do believe that, you don't want the deer to over browse or overgraze your area, because deer will leave if they don't have food. But if you're providing tonnage for them, and a deer, 7 pounds of food a day, they need like 800 pounds a year. I mean, technically that's about what they want, 800 pounds per deer. So you got to provide that tonnage in your food plots, unless you're making shot plots and attracting plots. But if you're planning to help the deer and you need all that tonnage, or it's basically you're just attracting them, they're going to overgraze it, eat it down, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
But if you have stuff, you need to know the amount, but on my land, I can't tell you how many deer are on our land because we get bypassing. We get deer from other properties. We can't manage it. We have a deer management program in place, but what we do is we plant the food. We don't plant summer plots. So Chris, I know you plant the summer plots for what they say, your doe factories, but we have enough food down there that we don't really want to do the food plots, and plus budget. Our budget's different. We can't spend the money on summer plots and fall plots. So what we do is just put it in fall. We put the brassicas and all the rye and the wheat and everything, so it gets them through the hunting season. And then after all the deer made it, they have some food for that. But then what we also do is after the hunting season, we have a deer feeder in the center of our property, and we put deer feed out for them, the pellets, the Booner blends and stuff like that, to help them through the winter when they can't break through the ice to get to the green. They have something to fall back on our property. And I believe that the deer know that that's there. So at certain times of the year, they will come in at the end of the season. They will use that food source, which we have blocks and feeders in the same area in the center of our property, to sort of create that wagon wheel from other properties coming to our property to get that food that nobody else provides. So we do that. And then they remember. I believe they're creatures of habit. They believe they remember that, and then they start thinking like that's where they want to make their core area. So then that's what creates the resident bucks, because we have hunters in the woods. So if we have a doe that's young and is going into their estrus cycle in, say, September, October, November, whatever they do, but guess what? We took that doe last year. There's a different doe taking the place that might not come into the estrus at that time. It's that's why everything changes on your property all the time, because you're taking deer every year. So the doe that you're taking sort of you shuffle up the structure of your deer herd, because now you had, say we took 10 doe from our property last year. Well, those 10 deer aren't there anymore. So their appetites are different. Their preference of food are different. Their estrus cycle is different. So every year you're getting changes in the deer herd. It isn't the same every year. So I don't know how people could say, okay, it's this time, it's this time. Things change. Them deer get harvested every year and new deer come in their place. And you guys know as well as I do, deer have their own little way of doing things. Every deer is individual. Not one deer is the same, but they're going to keep doing it. Now you can pattern a deer on a food source and stuff, but every deer is different, just like a human. I always relate them to the humans. I like hamburgers, you like hot dogs, stuff like that. And a deer likes acorns, a deer likes brassica, and a deer always has to eat the brown browse no matter what. To digest their food, they still have to eat the woody plants and stems throughout the year to keep their system going. That's just the way it is. So I believe there's always a constant change in your herd and the deer, so you can never pinpoint it. Hey, Monica, how are you? Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, I saw Monica. Said hi. I didn't want to interrupt.
Yeah. So,
well, hey,
but like I said, that's just my opinion.
I am going to jump off, guys.
All right, man. I'll talk to you about this, what we want to talk about tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I had a rough couple of 3 days here.
All right, man. Well, thank you for coming on. Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, have everybody tune in to my channel tomorrow at
5. 5 o'clock.
You'll get the story on the Sika deer, and I shot a really good one.
Yeah, congratulations, Chris.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. I'll have to have I didn't film it, though. That was the only bummer.
Yeah, well, not always you have to film, you know what I mean?
But I'll give you a little sneak peek. We had to ride bicycles in for 1.25 miles, and then we had to walk about 600 yards across a marsh in our knee boots.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm wore out. So you'll hear it all tomorrow at 5, though. So,
awesome, Chris. Well, thank you for joining me, buddy. Congratulations on your deer on your bucket list. I'll talk to you soon, bud.
Okay, I'll see you guys.
See ya.
Have a good one, Chris.
All right. So, Boxy, do you want to add anything to the information that we talked about here tonight? Because I'll probably end it. We're going on 2 hours now, so I don't want to keep everybody.
No, I'm about ready to bail out as well. Thanks for having me up here. I do want you to answer though. Do you have any luck rattling horns? Have you brought one in rattling horns in PA?
Yes. Okay. So let me tell you this: the last out of 4 bucks that I've gotten out of these last 4 years, 2 of them I rattled in, and I had the antlers still in my hands when they came in. Okay. Now I guess that matters on where you're hunting and what you're doing. Big woods, maybe not as so much, but I'm hunting funnels, and I believe the deer was 80 yards out of sight, and I didn't know. And I would rattle. No, it wasn't hard fighting rattling. It was tinkling in October, because I've shot my deer pretty early in the last couple of years. The deer that I got, the nice one with the missing brow tine, I rattled them in, but I believe I rattled. I can't honestly say I rattled it, but I did rattle, and I had 2 bucks come walking in looking. I don't know if I rattled them in or not, or if it just was natural movement. But 2 of the bucks, when I first found my spot, there was an acorn tree, and I went right up in this acorn tree because I found the spot. I was excited about it. It was dropping acorns. I went into the acorn tree, and I stuck out like a sore thumb. Well, I was sitting there, and the first time I ever hunted it, and they always say the first time hunting a stand is one of the best times. I was in my stand. I wasn't seeing anything. It was about 8:30 in the morning, and I took my black rack system, my black rack. It's like double racks on both sides. And I hit them together, not hard, just tinkled them, and I was tinkling like a buck was sparring. And I heard a deer run from about 80 yards away through the brush and leaves, and it crashed down and just stopped dead 20 yards and was looking. He wasn't looking at me, but he was looking. So I know that I physically rattled him in. I know for sure I rattled him in. And he came in. He started maneuvering around, checking the area. I put my rack down. I had my bow at that time. I pulled my bow back, boom, shot him. I love the spot. First spot, boom, got him within 3 hours of hunting it. Took him out, put another stand up within 20 yards of where I was, because I didn't want to be right out in the open. So I found a tree that vines, and that's very next year. I rattled it in. 2 bucks came in. and I shot the bigger of the 2 bucks, and I know for sure that I rattled them in.
Right.
That's probably the only 2 bucks. I might have rattled in a deer for my buddy years ago in a field that he was way across the field, and I rattled it, and we physically saw him walk across the field to us. But those 2 bucks that I've taken, I know that I rattled those 2 bucks in, and that just happened within the last 4 or 5 years.
Nice. Yeah. I'm gonna keep trying it. I don't get aggressive when I rattle. That might be the case. I just I do the I use a rattle bag. And it's gonna happen one of these times, and I'm gonna get to experience it first. And that's one thing that I always love, because I don't care who you are, there's always going to be a first out there, and it's so fun to enjoy that first, because then you got a story to tell.
Yes, exactly.
But that's all I really have. We got definitely plenty of things we can talk about, and I'm sure you're going to have some more of these lives and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely throughout the hunting season. We'll definitely.
I'm able to pop up here. I definitely will. So
yes, for sure. But like I said, like you were saying, how you rattle and stuff, like I start out, and this is my theory, I start out in the morning. Like I usually wait that first hour to see the natural movement and what's going on and test the woods sort of. But then if I don't see anything, or if I see a few doe or whatever, I start out, I don't crack them together like these guys do and whack and then start a big overall fight. I don't grab trees and shake trees. Now there's a time and place for that. I believe I just believe that you have to feel out the woods. You have to see what's going on to know that. You have to like sort of test the deer out and see what's going on.
Right.
So my theory is I feel that there's deer in my area that I can't see. They may be 60 yards, they may be 100 yards out of the way. So I don't want to crack them together and really give away my location. So what I do is I just tinkle them together. I'll have the grunt call. I'll grunt softly and I'll tinkle them like they're just sparring. And then I pull them off, and then I see. And if a deer comes running in, that's an aggressive deer in my eyes. I know that the deer in that area, I maybe next time could do it louder. So I always start out soft, because even if you see any of my videos when I grunt softly in the morning, because I don't know what's there yet. I don't know. I can't see past 60 yards, so I don't want to get too aggressive and they look right up at me or they pinpoint my position. So I start out low and then I get louder as it goes. Like at 11 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm cranking them together, because if something's bedded down 100 yards away, they're not paying attention, but they hear that. So I crank them and try to get something to go, and then I stop, and then I wait and listen and see if something happens. So I always start out a little lighter than more aggressive in that way. So. But with that saying, we're at 2 hours, guys. So, Boxy, I wanted to say thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me up here.
All right, buddy. I will talk to you soon, and I'm sure we'll be, posting stuff together here soon. So, is there anything you want to add? Is there anything you want to add to this?
Nope.
All right.
Not at this time. But like I said, I'll be thinking of some things to bring up maybe next time.
Yes, that's awesome. I appreciate you, Boxy. Have a great night.
Yep. Goodbye, guys. Goodbye, chat. Have a good evening.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
See ya. All right, guys. Well, that was a really great, that was a really good stream. It went quick because we were talking about some interesting stuff. I hope you guys learned something or, enjoyed it. And this is what I want to do here during the hunting season, to have these chats, bringing up topics and things. If anybody wants to email me a topic that they'd like me to talk about, then you can email me at tedpolanowski@gmail.com, and you can give me a topic that you'd like me to bring up in a future live stream. And we are at 2 hours and 3 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and end this on a Saturday night. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys for coming in and supporting me. I appreciate all of the comments. I try to get back to every one of you. It might take me a day or two, but I do that. And yeah, we're going to end it here. So like I always say, take a kid fishing and hunting. We want to preserve our sport and pass that on to future generations. And we will see you.